all over Nigeria, I would say, we do have the security concerns. But if we were to look at the Southeast in particular, if we were to carve something out, is there really a difference in what drives the topic in that region as to other areas?
Uncle Yori, the truth is that there may not be fundamental difference as it is now, except for the fact that in the Southeast, presently, there is no clear-cut indication as to who are the perpetrators of these crimes and criminalities. Okay. Now, for the North, we've been able to identify some sects and even give face or faces. Boko Haram used to be this mysterious until presently there are faces that have been attached to Boko Haram. But in the Southeast, you talk about, for example, you talk about the unknown gunmen. Now, till today, surreptitiously, the government is still telling us that they are still unknown. And that is the mystery in it. And that is actually the worrisome part of it. Because when we have avalanche of intelligence agencies in the country, and we've been talking of unknown gunmen for more than 5 years or thereabouts in this country, and up till now, nobody has been arrested to say this person is or was a member of the unknown gunmen and had to be prosecuted. So that actually is the dynamics that makes the Southeast security challenge a very unique one. You see a group of people that would come and perform havoc and disappear into thin air. Consciously or unconsciously, it means that by implication, there is this, tacit approval. It may not be intentional from security agencies. It may not be intentional. But in a situation where people believe they depend on you, now you discourage them from self-help. And discouraging them from self-help is as good as telling them we are capable of handling the situation. But look at now, you are talking of some group of people you call unknown gunmen, and you still think that you should be able to, you should still address them as unknown gunmen?
Well, this is the challenge. Although I dare say Nigeria does have this challenge of, and this is really coming from the rest of us, maybe not those who are in charge. It is felt that a lot more is known about goings on in our country, in our communities, than is actually allowed, that is actually spoken of. And this sort of binds everybody, both those who should be in charge and those who indeed are yearning to be governed over. When you try to read up on this subject, you find that the elders in that area, they are not short of expression. They think, from what I've been able to read, that one of the main challenges in the Southeast and its security issues is the refusal of, maybe inability is perhaps a better word, of the governors there to work as a team. Everybody, so the narration goes, so the narrative goes, everybody wanting to, become a victor on his own, whereas it is being emphasized by those elders who are commenting, some of them who are now retired, saying that we need to come together to solve this matter together. There is the thought, there was recently a summit, there's the thought that present leaders don't consult enough. Present leaders in the Southeast don't consult amongst themselves enough. And the idea, you can see the idea behind that thought is that if you won't tap the experience of those who have come, served, and gone, but are still around, how are you going to achieve anything? Because it is felt that you can come into office at a very young age, you don't know much about administration. Yes, you could have been voted in. That is on the one hand. The other hand, Bianca Ojukwu, Ambassador Bianca Ojukwu, she was saying the other day that If you don't release Nnamdi Kanu, there will never be an end. I mean, as disparate as that.
Is it, Uncle Yori? There are a lot of dynamics in the Southeast security challenge.
Okay.
But like we started, there is nothing extraordinarily unique
to that
vis-a-vis what is happening in the North, except for these differences some of these differences that we have identified. That governors don't work together or in unison in the Southeast is not peculiar to them. It's a national problem. Even in this North that we talk about today, it's not as if the governors are working together, as it were. You know, and don't forget that we are in a society where it is only government agencies that bear arms. And after that, the next people that bear arms are the criminals. The terrorists, the criminals. These are the two people that don't need licenses to bear arms in this country. The government and the terrorists or the criminals. You know, but you and I, we need license to bear arms. If you don't have license and you have in possession of arms, you will go to jail for it. So that is one paradox that
there's an accounting in that sense.
That should settle at the back. Now for the Southeast, the political part of it is not helping matters. That's just the truth. You know, politicians are more interested in their political ambition vis-a-vis the security challenge there. And why I said so is that let us even assume, without considering that you have some limitation, especially because even your own paramilitary organizations don't bear arms. But you can be highly instructive to the extent that even the police and the army and you can empower them. You can put them on the run in such a manner that even the criminals will know that in your own state, it may happen in other states, but in your own state, you won't allow that. You won't condone that. But it's not happening like that in the Southeast. That is one aspect of it. Then another thing is that even the people themselves are not ready to push out the criminals among them. To what extent are they even cooperating with standing army, the police and the like? To what extent are they cooperating with intelligence agencies and the like? That is also another aspect of it, which the people must look inward. Now, don't also forget that the Southeast, they have this independent kinsmen, what do you call it, cultural orientation. So it's not as if they are, you know, what do you call it, they are so coordinated. Right from the word go, it's a kinsman thing. So if security is going to bring them together, now it has to be something that is of a common interest to them. So that now brings me to the issue of Bianca Ojukwu. Now, that means that as it is now, whether you like it or not, the government has made a hero out of Nnamdi Kanu. Government, by, you know, arresting him and detaining him and, you know, bringing out popularity out of nothing. Nobody knew this man from anywhere before. But one of the best ways government unconsciously brings out hero from activists, the day you arrest them, you have made them automatic heroes. Because most of the time, if you look at the way it starts, you know, unassumably, it starts quietly and all those stuff like that. These people were not bearing arms initially, if you remember. It was just placard, normal activism and all those stuff like that.
IPOB.
The IPOBs and all those stuff like that. You know, I was part of the entire one of this, and I said that if government did not handle it properly, these people will re-strategize and reappraise their strategy. And that's what happened today. Today now you are no longer talking of an IPOB of a placard and all those stuff like that. You are not talking of an IPOB that has the capacity and capability to able to you know, confront our military formation. Why? Because the government before now had handled this matter, as far as I'm concerned, unprofessional. As far as I'm concerned. And that is what now today. For you to now assist the situation, we're not talking about release of the Nnamdi Kanu. And to me, as far as I'm concerned, there is nothing spectacular about the release of Nnamdi Kanu. If you release Nnamdi Kanu is not going to divide Nigeria. Nnamdi Kanu is not going to separate Nigeria. It does not have the capacity or capability to bring Nigeria into disintegration.
No, is it?
It doesn't have it.
No, is it guaranteed that anything can change in the security situation?
But no, if you release Nnamdi Kanu, It has its own, because whether you like it or not, do you know what it means for IPOB to say people should not open shop on a particular day?
And indeed, they got their way.
Till today. And for goodness sake, you know, that speaks volume. You and I can't do. You can't do. You can't go to your community and say you're angry with government. Don't open shop. You know, so that simply means that the government on its own. Look, there are times that we have to swallow our pride to do the needful. There is nothing. Ojukwu did worse than he did. Ojukwu led Nigeria to war, but Ojukwu was given presidential pardon. The same Ojukwu still contested. It was Ojukwu that established ABGA we are talking about. Contested to be president of Nigeria. So what has he done? To the extent that we are now incarcerating him for this long. And that also is also, you know, an amber that is watering the seed of bitterness in that southeast. So there's nothing spectacular about the release of Nnamdi Kanu. It's a political matter. It's not a legal issue. There's nothing like treasonable felony and all those things we are talking about. It's a pure political solution that we are going to court and come in every day. He can remain in court for how many years? Obafemi Awolowo was in court for 10 years or thereabout, or was in jail. All those things are political things. And the only solution is political solution. And if the government is humble enough to attend to it politically, it will have its own percentage.
Okay, I was going to say that.
Yes.
It isn't as if you're saying...
No, it's going to have its own fundamental percentage in the reduction of the security challenges in the Southeast. Because at that point in time, even the unknown government and the IPOB, now the question will now be, on what ground, on what rationale are you now talking about this type of violence?
Indeed. Yes.